Everybody can grab a seat if you like. We'll get started. Well, good morning, everybody. That's great to see you. I'm Chris Ronayne. I'm the Cuyahoga County Executive, and I want to say thank you for the turnout. Mayor Sellers, we turned them out here in Warrensville Heights, right? And thank you to your whole team. I saw Nicole on the way in and all your team in Warrensville Heights. Thanks for the great job you guys do. Mayor Sellers, thank you for hosting us today. I saw Mayor Blackwell out here from Maple Heights. Good to see you, Mayor Annette Blackwell. Thank you for being here today. I saw Mayor Sandra Morgan somewhere out here from the city of East Cleveland today, wherever you are. Mayor Morgan, thank you for being here today. Am I missing any mayors? I probably am, so raise a hand. Nope, we're good? Okay. Boy, that's good. I want to, as we look out in the rows, and thank the media for being with us today for this very important occasion. Before I go any further, where is Sara Parks Jackson? My Director of Housing Extraordinaire. You're going to hear from her more. Thank you. Thank you for convening us, and thank you for Cleveland State for doing the work we're going to hear about today. But thank you, Sara. You really put this together from one goal line to the next, and we're grateful to you. But as that goes, as I mentioned, Sara, I just want to say to every person in our county, in our communities, I'm looking out at our county cabinet directors, I'm looking at city representatives, I'm looking at persons in the community that just are citizen advocates who care. I just want to say to every one of you out here, thank you. This is all a team effort. You know, housing is a team sport, and making sure that we make housing available to all at all market prices, and for those who need us most, that we make affordable housing a priority too. So I just want to thank all the housing advocates who are out here. You know, you're in this work every day, and we don't do this without a team. It's all of us. So again, honored to be with you. In a minute, we're going to have up my good partner over at Cuyahoga County, Councilman Michael Hauser. Thank you, Michael, for your leadership in this effort. We appreciate you. Michael runs community and economic development for the county. He's our chairman of the community economic development, and I appreciate you, Michael. We are going to hear from Molly Schnoke over at Cleveland State. Where is Molly? All right, Molly, right in the front row. Thank you. We'll hear from you in just a minute. Who conducted this study. But I just want to say again to Councilman Hauser, who's rejoined us at the Cuyahoga County team as a county councilman, community development and housing committee that he runs is just critical to what we do. And thank you. On the campaign for me 3 years ago, knocking on doors like here in Warrensville Heights and hearing from residents all throughout our county, I heard two major themes as I was stepping in and out of homes and saying hello to people, and that is we need more housing in this community to support this community. And the other thing is I ran into our transportation specialist this morning on the way in. Transportation matters. It's about that whole community experience, having housing, having a way to get around. So we built out the housing department that Sara's the inaugural director too, and really from that point she built it out. And we built out a transportation team at Cuyahoga County because these are the basics of life. how we're housed and how we get around. Can we get to work? Those are the basics of building our community. So thank you. And so to Mayor Sellers, he's just been a longtime mayor working in the field of community development, economic development, and housing. And I just love the way you keep this city going, Mayor. And thank you for just in all you do. Molly, yeah, one more time. Thank you. We chose this purposefully because of the way the city runs and this beautiful facility we're in today. Molly Schnoke from CSU's Levin College of Public Affairs and Education. She conducted the housing study. You're going to hear from her in a minute. But again, Sara Parks Jackson, what she's done to put together a team of us to prioritize housing in Cuyahoga County, we hope we will be a model for the other 87 counties of Ohio, that this will be the leading center of housing here in Cuyahoga County, and that's because of all of you as a team. We're pleased to release the findings of the Cuyahoga County Housing Study. That's why we are here today. It's a 93-page report, so take your time this summer reading it. It's more than just research and data. It demonstrates our commitment to understanding and addressing the real challenges facing our residents all throughout Cuyahoga County. The purpose of this study is to provide an honest, data-driven look at the state of housing in Cuyahoga County, where we are, where we're falling short, and what we must do to ensure that every resident has access to safe and stable and affordable housing. I look out to you and I think about how much we get your advice. I appreciate it. Dennis Roberts, I'm going to look at you for a minute. You sit me down about once a quarter and we talk strategy and housing over the land bank. Thank you. You know, it's your voices that inform us. But as this report comes out, we're going to have a better playbook to work from. And so for us, we know people are struggling to afford their own homes. I talked to our treasurer quite a bit. Brad, thank you for your advice always on this. We've got to keep people in our homes. That's our goal in Cuyahoga County. This includes our whole population, but we have special emphasis on our veterans, individuals with disabilities, those who've been involved in the justice system. Simeon Best, thank you for being here today from our community reentry department, youth aging out of foster care, and of course, seniors. Natasha Pietrocola, thank you for being here, you and your team and what you do. Everyone deserves access to safe, quality, and affordable housing in a place that they can call home. We know that. That's the essence of living in a community, is first and foremost, do you have a place to live? And is it a sustainable place for you? Our county faces challenges of aging infrastructure. It's one of the things I see in every community of Cuyahoga County, and particularly our in-ring suburbs. Jennifer, thank you for being here today. The First Ring Suburbs Consortium has been fantastic in the fight to keep people in communities, but aging housing stock is a reality, and we've got to continue providing fix-up funds and other things. So our maintenance is our ongoing issue, especially in our rental housing stock. We need to continue to keep it up. So it puts pressure on all of us, but we're here today to rally around our 59 communities as places to live out your lives, your entire lives. They're economically diverse, and they all have housing needs across our community. The housing study will serve as a roadmap for creation of a comprehensive housing plan to meet the needs of all of our residents, 1.2 million strong in Cuyahoga County. As your county executive, I want to be clear, housing is a priority in this administration. It has been, it always will be, and that's why we're taking action. We recognize the urgent need for additional rental housing. That's why the Cuyahoga County project is allocating $5.5 million in federal home funds, and that is Sara's housing department that put that together for the development of rehabilitation of affordable rental housing in our community. The investment will help create 445 new and affordable housing units for seniors, families, and for those unhoused, and for our veterans. You might recall last year, we established a $3 million housing fund. We now plan to allocate a portion of those funds as follows. $1 million to be used to create a revolving low-interest construction loan program for affordable single-family homes in inner-ring communities specifically. Our focus will be sustainable transportation-oriented development. We've set aside an additional $750,000 for down payment assistance for our buyers of those single-family homes. We're committing an additional $500,000 to help landlords in making critical repairs to rental properties, because safe quality rentals is a priority for us and our residents. We'll invest an additional $50,000 to enhance the ability to track and monitor housing conditions across the county. If we can't measure it, we can't manage it, right? We believe that good data leads to smart policy, and we are committed to both. In collaboration with Cuyahoga County Planning Commission, the county will identify residential parcels in suburban neighborhoods and support communities in developing a comprehensive housing plan tailored to their specific needs. Patrick, thank you to you and Mary for doing that work with us at the County Planning Commission. These targeted investments are just beginning of a longer-term strategy to stabilize our neighborhoods and increase affordability and support inclusive growth. Sara, thank you. We worked on this together, but you led the way. $1 million for a revolving low-interest construction loan program, $750,000 in down payment assistance, $500,000 to help landlords make appropriate repairs on the rental units that they own, and $50,000 to enhance our ability to track and monitor, to manage and measure. This is the program of the $3 million housing fund that Sara Parks Jackson put together. So give her a round of applause and thank you. These targeted investments are just the beginning of a longer-term strategy to stabilize our neighborhoods, to increase affordability, and support inclusive growth. We're setting a new direction for Cuyahoga County, one where housing is not a barrier, but a foundation for opportunity. I want to also thank our partners at the City of Cleveland. I'm looking at Tony Scott. I'm going to introduce him in a different way in a minute, but for the work that you and your team have done over at the City of Cleveland. So I want to be also thoughtful about the City of Cleveland. Today, we're in our first ring suburbs, and a lot of our target focus is in our first ring suburbs because it's where we have aging housing stock. It's where we have targeted needs, and we work with the City of Cleveland because of its great work in its city and its community development department. But we have needs all throughout Cuyahoga County, and our mayors in our first ring suburbs know that well. Thank you for your commitment. We have filled the house, Mayor Sellers. I'd like to say one more time, Warrensville Heights brings it out. Thank you. And now it's my honor to bring up my partner, County Councilman Michael Hauser. Thank you again.
Good morning. Thank you for the words, County Executive. I am District 10 County Councilman Michael Hauser. I represent all of University Heights, East Cleveland, Cleveland Heights, Bracknell, Cleveland Ward 8, and Cleveland Ward 10. I was born and raised on the east side of Cleveland, so I've seen the disinvestment and redlining of many of our east side communities, and I am committed to help and committed to being in this fight to rebuild, renew, and restore our communities. I want to thank my colleagues on County Council. We were able to put East Cleveland into the Heritage Home Program for the next 3 years. Which is optimal for the housing stock in East Cleveland. These residents now have access to low interest loans as well as technical assistance. And I think this is, has been out of reach for residents for much too long. As chair of community development and housing, I've worked to invest in policies as well as reflect that lived experience of our residents, communities that have been historically excluded and underserved. Right now, the data, if we read the 90-page report, the data shows that Black home ownership is at 37.2% compared to white households at 70.6%. That disparity is more than just a number. It is the result of systematic inequalities, and we have a moral obligation to close that gap. I want to thank all the partners at Cuyahoga County in our fight to do so. At the same time, our county has the oldest median housing stock among all Ohio large counties, and we have the lowest rate of new construction all across Ohio. And so I was able to launch the District 10 Housing Fund with $1 million seed investment. We are and work with the Land Bank to build 30 new homes across District 10, Glenville, Collinwood, Cleveland Heights, all across our district, bringing new life to streets that have been forgotten for much too long. This is more than just brick and mortars. In partnership with the County Executive, our Office of Reentry, we launched our first ever Reentry Housing Summit. Because returning citizens deserve a second chance. They deserve a foundation built on a future. I believe at the event, I said something like, it's hard to look for a job if you don't know where you're going to sleep at night. As we move forward, we must stay strategic and intentional. This housing study here today gives County Council a critical roadmap, a blueprint to ensure that every dollar, our tax dollars, we invest is backed by data, vision, and equity. This is how we build a stronger, more inclusive Cuyahoga County, that where everyone, no matter your background, your race, your criminal record, has safe, sustainable housing, safe, sustainable, and dignified housing. Now it is my pleasure to introduce a stalwart for his community, a champion in his own right, Warrensville Heights Mayor, Brad Sellers. Come on up.
Good morning. I thought he was going to say Ohio State University, but that's why I thought the university was coming in at. All right, so first, let me welcome each and every one of you. I said good morning and officially welcome you to this event here in the city of Warrensville Heights. I'd like to welcome County Executive Chris Ronayne, Director of Housing and Community Development Sara Parks Jackson, County Council members. I want to recognize the mayors that serve with me in many capacities, Mayor Blackwell, Mayor Thomas, Mayor Blackwell from Maple Heights, Mayor Thomas from Richmond Heights, and I don't see any other, Mayor Morgan from East Cleveland. And I think it's very important that we're all here. It's good to see this room in here. It's electric. And I say that because the county executive referred to a team effort. And those who know me know I'm a team sports guy, and no one person can do it by themselves. It's a collective effort between many organizations, and it's good to see this room is recognized. I see the land bank in here for Suburbs. It is that type of, and the financial institutions, because this game is crazy. This game is crazy. We sit here and we talk about, I'm gonna skip just a bit, but it's my house. I'm gonna take I'm gonna take some advantages here, right? And we get things done here, and I want to recognize my own council members here that help continue to keep this city afloat and doing the things that it do. I want to recognize Councilwoman Doris Hagwood from Ward 1 in Warrensville Heights. I want to see Councilwoman Andrea Mitchell from Ward 2 in Warrensville Heights. I want to recognize, she's my mayor, my former congresswoman, my neighbor, former housing HUD director, Marshall Fudge's mother in the rear. I recognize my staff too, because they really, my staff, stand up. Councilwoman Alona White, I didn't see you in the front, Alona. Because it's a collective effort that needs to get done. There's so many fronts in housing here that need to be addressed. You heard County Executive talk about the rental housing here. The rental housing market, the mayors know, is crazy here because some legislation gets passed at the State House and it opens the door to many bad things. So now we're dealing with many bad things in these communities from outside investors that don't even live here and just really taking money in on the side here. And it's just a money hustle. So now you got to fight that on a number of fronts. I say I want to recognize these folks because it takes time to take on these serious issues here of affordable housing in this country, not only in the city, but this county and this country. The teammates that are required to bring viable solutions that can help address these issues. The county housing strategies to promote new housing in this county that helps grow families and communities is directly what the city of Warrensville Heights seeks to pursue. We're looking to bring on new housing projects that are not only affordable, but ideally suited for families, both young and old. You heard County Councilman Hauser talk about there's a dignity issue here, right? I should be afforded the opportunity to live in a place where I can call home, right? And I don't have to worry about, is it getting repaired? Is it safe? Is it affordable, right? Because if you don't address these issues, you're gonna force people out of here. And some of us in this country believe it's all about the green dollar. There's a morality issue here. I think the job of mayors and council folks here and people are put in positions like we have, it's really to address and keep people running, say, listen, I got to open the door for things to happen here. And if you don't believe in that, you don't need to be serving in public service at all. This is not a gig for, notoriety, right? You want to be notoriety, go down to, I want to call it Quick and Loan Rocket Arena. And you can be notable there, right? But this is a job for just getting work done. I want to say that we as look to bring on projects that are affordable for both young and old, because you got to address everybody here. There's a constituency, there's young families, the young groups that are trying to get off the ground, and they can't pay $3,000 in rent. Not happening. And you got older folks that are retired, and they're like, listen, I can't go to a place that is escalating. It just cannot happen. So you have to kind of work through the minutia to try to make it happen. I like to say in Warrensville, we're currently working with we're working with the LDG Development Group, a nationwide affordable housing developer, to construct 188 unit affordable housing apartment complex just at the doorsteps of both the Cuyahoga County Library and the Warrensville Heights Family YMCA. We're currently working also on some senior housing, community strategies, and affordable single family housing opportunities as well. And I say that because we've done a number of market rate single family things here in this town, and we'll continue to pursue those, but you also got to pursue the other things. And I see Dennis Roberts and Brad for the Land Bank. We have to sit here, and we've done things with that organization in this community because we have to provide these opportunities here, right? And I want to thank Chris because, man, sometimes people get in these positions and they lose their way, right? You can lose your way here, and you got to stay on the grind here. I mean, you really have to stay on the grind and make things happen, and you have to put people first. Now, you don't hear me. You have to put people first, right? And that's just the model that I live by. That's the model I was growing up in this community with. And you can't deter me here. Be clear, there's nothing here that can sway me. You can't shake me, right? Because I only know one thing from sports. Either you get it done or you don't. That's how it goes. That's how life works. And so as long as I'm sitting here, we're going to try to get it done and for the right reasons, for the right people. And that's why you need people like that, like Chris Ronayne here to kind of see you through here. And I want to thank my own people from Warrensville. I'm taking some more living. People from Warrensville that live in the community, please stand up. Because they don't have to be here. And I say that because those are the folks that hold me accountable. Just like in your own community, you got people to hold you accountable. You have to have that in order for things to happen. I want to say this, that the City of Warrensville Heights stands committed to pursuing opportunities that allow families to experience the American dream, with quality places to live, here being in reach of higher education. Recognize Superintendent Don Jolly from Warrensville, who's really turned this education system around here in Warrensville, which allows us now to bring the families in here that are looking for places. Now we're going to scramble because now we got to find affordable, quality living places for people to live, because everybody not working downtown at a Fortune 500, right? So as long as you know that and you got people down there making that happen. I want to also say that when we do that, we try to put them within reach. We don't put them out here on an island. We want to do development, we put you out here on an island. We don't put you near some of our high quality education, institutional assets such as the library, YMCA, high quality medical institutions like Cleveland Clinic, South Point Hospital. And I just want to close by saying this: the City of Warrensville Heights stands with Cuyahoga County in pursuit of projects bringing high quality, affordable options to this country. I want to thank you guys for coming here, but I will just tell you, we have to get it done, right? Because if we don't get it done, you're going to wipe out a whole generation behind us, right? And they count on us to get it done. So I encourage each and every one of you to stay committed to the mission and just go out and find a way. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Sellers. Get it done. That's what we do. That's what we do. Thank you for the leadership, Mayor Sellers. And to all the mayors that are here, I just wanted to say, Sara made a special point of telling us when we were studying housing, when we were really on our first year of putting the housing department together, where we ought to be looking for solutions. And I'm looking out to your residents, Mayor, and to you. We were pointed specifically to Warrensville Heights. We were specifically pointed to Maple Heights, Mayor Blackwell. We were specifically pointed to a partnership with the land bank that you guys have created together. And Mayor Thomas, wherever you went, we were pointed to your community on the conversion of a mall into a housing development and mixed use development. And I was glad to see Mayor Morgan walk in, new Mayor Morgan in East Cleveland, and say to Mayor Sellers, I'd like to get together. I want to learn a few things, is essentially what she was saying. That's the collaborative spirit. That's why we're here. We're here to learn from each other of how people have done it, how you've built a market, how you've sustained it, and you said everything that makes for a complete community. Again, to point out your school superintendent, what's a community without quality public schools, right? What's a community without quality housing? What's a community without quality transportation that gets people to and from jobs? And complete communities are in places like Warrensville Heights. So thank you so much. I wanted to introduce now Molly Schnoke, who's going to bring up the study and kind of bring the summary of the 93 pages to you. But before I do that, she comes from Levin College at Cleveland State. I just wanted to get a raise of hand for either those who went to Cleveland State Levin College or have given a talk at Cleveland State or gone to a meeting at Cleveland State's Levin College. Just a quick raise of hand. Look at this, Molly. So just so you know, and everybody else, we got to get you down there. It's an amazing resource in our midst in our community at Cleveland State. Go Vikings, go Molly, and let's go, as Mayor Sellers said. Let's hear about this show. Thank you.
So thank you everyone for being here today, especially all of the residents in attendance. I'm going to go a little bit off script right away also. So first, thank you for doing that with the university and the college. So that matters to us. We are intimately connected to our communities. This isn't just research that we do and hand off. We live here, work, engage, shop, and live out our lives in all of these communities. So this kind of work matters intimately to us as well. We are on the ground with you in this, and we aren't going anywhere. Secondly, I want to say that a lot of what was mentioned around the mayors in attendance, the council people, Sara, the land bank. This is a legacy of the work that the county put together during the foreclosure crisis. And we are living with, experiencing the remnants, and for many of our communities, the continued wounds of what happened during the foreclosure crisis. But the county acted proactively at that time and put together a robust county housing system and ecosystem that exists still today, and that has allowed that trust to be built across the communities, the leadership, and the organizations that continue to address housing today. So first of all, I would like to thank the county for that effort, which made our work easier as well. So many of you may know that in 2016, Cuyahoga County contracted with the university to conduct a housing study. That work was predominantly data heavy. In 2014, the county again approached the university to conduct a new study, but this time the focus was meant to address more of what was happening on the ground. Leadership wanted to identify what the leading issues, opportunities to strengthen housing from practitioners and county stakeholders. More of an on-the-ground understanding of the array of housing-related matters from those closest to them. Where should the county focus its attention and efforts? What matters most to those working in the housing sector across our county? In order to get to the bottom of that, the center interviewed nearly 40 housing stakeholders and gathered survey responses from nearly half of the communities of Cuyahoga County to inform the housing department. This work is meant to assist in guiding the county's housing efforts as it charts a plan for housing that is integrated into the county's overall strategic plan and the work of all of the municipalities across our community. I would like to only highlight a few of those findings this morning. So the first is intersectionality. You have heard it in different ways this morning, already spoken about. The intersection at education, transportation, health, employment, and wealth building. Housing is at the intersection of all of the work that you do. With that also comes housing affordability, the ability for our neighbors and our residents to afford places to live. Communities across the country are struggling with the availability of affordable housing, and this is true for our county as well. It was by far the #1 topic brought up by those interviewed as part of this project. Housing affordability was identified as both the county's leading challenge as well as its greatest opportunity. But affordable housing doesn't just mean what is subsidized. Increasingly, the availability of housing that is affordable to a wider population has impacts on the economic health and potential growth of regions. As a region's housing affordability has implications for its ability to attract skilled workers that businesses need, housing is a tool of business attraction and retention efforts, providing for overall quality of life and general cost of living that workers and employers seek. I want to share with you on that an account from a national conference that I spoke at a short time ago. On a panel with economic development professionals from various US regions, I made that statement that housing had become a vital topic for economic development and one that would only become more important in the upcoming years. My fellow panelists chimed in by saying this: I am, for most of my career, an economic development practitioner. There was a time when if housing or community development issues were brought up, we could not run far enough or fast enough away. That was someone else's problem. Today, there isn't anywhere left for us to run. Her statement that housing is now inescapably a part of the economic development landscape is reflected in the comments and information shared in our work and in this project. Quality affordable housing through both the preservation of existing naturally occurring affordable housing in our remaining middle neighborhoods and communities is critical. But so is pursuing opportunities to provide more and more diverse affordable housing throughout the county. Affordability near our existing job centers, affordability in our middle income neighborhoods, and affordability across a range of housing types is essential for the economic growth of our region. The next topic that those interviewed for this work and practitioners that work every day to address housing stressed to us and wanted us to stress to the county was aging. Aging is that other leading theme highlighted, but it is both the age of housing and the age of our residents and homeowners. So housing is dual poled, and the two subjects are intertwined. The aging of the county means that more and more of our residents are on fixed incomes. Burdens such as the rise in property values that result in increased property tax valuation exert financial pressure on these residents. It also means that residents are in need of support when it comes to fixing and maintaining their homes. That brings us to the second point in aging, the age of our county's housing stock. Stakeholders and those interviewed for this work, whether they were internal to the county or worked in community, stressed that the age of our housing stock necessitates action. Rehabilitation and repair are needed. Advocates see an increasing need for the county to provide support in efforts to modernize and repair the existing housing stock across all of our communities. This will require expanding and scaling repair programs and ensuring that there is availability for these programs county-wide. And you heard today that that is one of the leading programs and activities that the county is going to be undertaking in response to this work. But finally, I would also like to stress that our interviews uncovered a great appreciation for what the county is already doing. The very creation of the Department of Housing and Community Development is seen by stakeholders as both a necessary and critical step in the competitiveness of Cuyahoga County. Prosperous regions across our country are focusing on and targeting housing as a function of overall competitiveness and economic growth. Stakeholders indicated that they are encouraged by the efforts of the counties to strategically support housing as a broad tool for the region's ongoing and future success. I would like to thank everybody, many in this room who participated in this work, who agreed to speak with us, share their insights that we were then able to turn around and provide to the county, which you can see in today's work and information and release on new programs they are already putting into action. Thank you.
Thank you for your comprehensive work, Molly, and a 93-page report summarized that well was an achievement. So, but you'll be able to read through the entire report, and we thank you again. I do want to once again thank my partners at County Council, because Michael, and convey this to all our members if any other council members are here. Thank you to our city council members who are here today. But County Council, we couldn't have put together the housing department without you, and we couldn't have done it without hiring the best, and that's Sara Parks Jackson, who became the inaugural director to our Department of Housing and Community Development. It didn't exist until we brought it to council, and we got her done, to use Mayor Seller's words. And it couldn't be more meaningful now to the county. And so it is now my privilege to invite up our first housing director, Sara Parks Jackson. And what we're going to do is have a panel, but please give Sara Parks Jackson your warm Warrensville Heights welcome. Thank you.
Good morning. So for those of you who didn't know by now, I am Sara Parks Jackson, the current director of the Cuyahoga County Department of Housing and Community Development. This report, I call it my swan song because I am retiring. But this was my goal from the beginning. Chris and I had conversations about how we needed to know from the ground up what the needs were from the residents, from our electeds countywide, so that we could pull something together in order to create a housing plan for the county. So we have the study. My predecessor will create the plan. So thank you again for everybody coming today. And what I want to do is have you hear varied perspectives from these three esteemed people here. Mr. Donald Jolly, who is the superintendent of the Warrensville High School District, Jennifer Kuzma, who is the executive director of the First Suburbs Consortium, and Natasha Pietrocola, who is the Cuyahoga County Director of the Department of Senior and Adult Services. What we're going to do first is allow each of our panelists to say a few words and talk about their perspectives. And then if time permits, we're going to get some questions in of the panelists so that you can hear more about that. So thank you. And Mr. Jolly, I think we'll start with you.
Good morning. It's an honor to be here today. From my perspective, and just like Mayor Sellers, I am a product of this community, Warrensville Heights. I grew up here. And one of the things, when I grew up here, the housing was consistent. People grew up here and they stayed here for kindergarten and 12th grade. All my classmates, we were together from the time, my classmates and I, we were together from kindergarten to 12th grade. Upon my return as the superintendent, I observed that we, in the data tells us that we have about a 25% mobility rate. So that tells us that 25% of our kids are moving in and out of the district. How does that affect the schools, how does that affect students? It affects their consistency of education. So their reading is not as good as it should be. It affects their stability. Of course, we grew up, we were comfortable in school. Now you change schools every year because of the house situation, not in a safe house. I've talked to them on numerous cases to share with them that families want to stay in the community, but they can't find somewhere to live. The apartment buildings are not doing the things necessary to ensure that they're safe. It affects our staff because again, there's variables of students coming in 6 weeks, 6 months. Students are here and they're gone. We've been very blessed though to work collaboratively with the city of Warrensville to ensure that we have quality facilities, to ensure that we have the resources necessary. But the challenge is continuous of keeping great families in our community, having good jobs so that they can stay in the community, but also regulate landlords who change and don't take care of homes and all those things. They do a great job because in order for us to educate a child, we need them to be here. We need them to be here consistently. We don't need them move in. We don't need them come in late because oftentimes kids something happen in their house and they got to move somewhere else. Now that the challenge is getting them to school. We have kids that are homeless that live in hotels in Orange. We got people who are homeless that live on the west side. We're responsible for educating them. So we have to spend resources to go get them and bring them back to the district. And then oftentimes kids get lost in the system because they move in, no one knows where they are, and then they pop back up. And just imagine being a kindergarten or first grader and you are getting large tracts of your education interrupted 6 months, 6 weeks at a time. And then we often wonder why communities like ours have struggling scores. And it doesn't appear that we have a good school district because of test scores, but those are directly affected by the stability of homes. And when homes are stable, that means that kids are getting educated at the highest level. And the result will be that you will see high scores. But when you have 25% of your students coming in and out, and that is prevalent in the majority of the inner ring suburbs, you have a lack of scores which people use as a parameter to say if the school district is good or bad. We do spend millions of dollars trying to catch students up and get them to where they need to be. But at the end of the day, if they're not here, it's very difficult. So stable housing is very essential to that process because the stable community results in stable children, which results in producing positive and productive citizens that then come back and be the mayor, come back and be the superintendent, come back and be the council. And that, to me, is the biggest issue in our schools, because when we don't have stability, then the instability becomes generational. So thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm going to talk about my perspective from the lens of working with older adults. I come from Cuyahoga County Division of Senior and Adult Services. We exclusively work with those 18 to 59 who are disabled and those who are 60 plus. We have adult protective services. We go into the home. So when I talk, I'm talking from real experience. I've been in these houses that we're discussing today. So there is nothing that I'm going to tell anyone in the audience today that is different from what the studies are showing when they do housing studies. I can tell you that we have seniors who are living in homes that after we leave there, we don't want to leave them in that kind of environment. But the alternative is being unhoused. So we have to kind of tip through that balance of trying to tell somebody that their home does no longer fit for them. These are people who raise families in these communities. These are people that have paid off their homes, there has been predatory lending. We've seen people exploited, people scammed, people taken advantage of by contractors. It is truly a severe issue that we really need to start focusing on some of our older adults. We have seen environments where older housing stock, there's one bathroom in that. And guess where it is? It's upstairs. And guess who can't navigate those stairs any longer? It's that older adult trying to maintain their independence, retain their autonomy, and remain in the community that they have every right to continue to age gracefully. We have another issue. Where's the laundry room in most of these homes? In the basement. We have older adults who cannot maneuver and manage those stairs. These stairs would be treacherous for most of us to walk up. So then you have the risk of them injuring themselves trying to do laundry. Not to mention that the upkeep has been very difficult for some seniors. They cannot do ADA accommodations to their homes if they suffer stroke and mobility issues. If they had issues with housing repairs that need to be done, they often don't have the resources, and they are on limited incomes. So yes, younger people can get another job, I get it. That's not how we want to live, to be just working to pay to live. But the point being that many of our older adults do not have the luxury to return to work. So when I go into my office on a daily basis, me and my team are facing these dilemmas about where to navigate people. So all the different things we're discussing today, I really encourage everyone to take some thought about solutions and how to organize these solutions so that we can get these people that need this assistance to those doors to get the actual help. So we have these kind of environments where we have those that are extremely poverty-stricken, some with resources, but let me tell you, the people that are typically traditional middle class are struggling as well. Our number one call that we receive, because we have some emergency discretionary funds, has been for rentals. Rental assistance has always been kind of a hot topic with some seniors, and it's nothing new that we haven't supported people with. But now the rental rates have gone from $500–600 to on average about $1,100 to $1,500 a month for 1 month rent. So you tell me how someone on Social Security can afford it. And the alternative, not everyone deserves material. Not all nursing homes and assisted living are created equal. People cannot afford $7,000–8,000 per month living, and if they do, they often have the resources unless you're well. So again, my perspective and my kind of point of being on this panel is to really draw the attention to that population. I care about young people. I have 2 children myself. I want them to be successful, productive members of the community. But right now, my challenge is with our older adults. It is hard for us professionals to navigate these programs, these initiatives that we're trying to get into place. But I'll tell you what, try having somebody who's not connected to someone helping them navigate this, and that they're going to be able to find the right resource to maintain independently. It's not going to happen. So hopefully this discussion brings that broader, bigger elephant in the room up front and center. What do we do to ensure that the people who need that help are getting it, and that the people who are barely surviving are not left behind before they are reaching an epidemic that they're also now considered to be at risk for being. I don't need to be so depressing on a beautiful Friday morning. I just figured I had this opportunity to speak, so I'm going to.
You've both given me a great opportunity to kind of work that I can do much lighter than I realized someday. So thank you. I'm Kuzma, director for Suburbs Consortium. I've been leading this council of governments for about the last 20 years. We're celebrating our 29th year this year. Mayor Sara, can you believe that? And we stand on the shoulders of some great people that came before us who really helped to give a foundation where we can take a look at many of the issues that we face in a collective way. Sara is going to be a part of this panel to really share the experience for separate communities. We all did JC's the city of Cleveland. We all suffer from the same issue, but I would say on varying degrees depending on which community you're in. The issues are the same, but the severity of those issues is, I think, the difference for our communities. In relation to affordable housing, what I'm really trying to do is for some of those communities is look at ways to address these issues regionally. Is that policy, is that program, is that resources already existing by the county, or maybe working to create others. Advocacy for us, if you look, it's serious as a drive down 71 South or they look as simple as a phone call to Dennis Roberts, for the owner, or Sarah. Those are really important conversations. We're so lucky to have the experts that we do in Cuyahoga County that work with us. We've just completed a study in the last year with our incredible planning commission to look at how do we get these 5,300 lots that are available in our suburb cities ready for immediate reuse, get houses built as quickly and seamlessly as we can without going through our CPA and planning commission processes. And I'm really happy that a number of our communities have already made those transitions in their zoning code to make the process easier to bring new housing in, hopefully affordable housing into some of those lots in our communities. Other issues we've looked at has been addressing how our budget departments function and trying to improve that process so that we've got more officials out in the field doing those inspections, making sure that they're on properties are safe, and being able to get our contractors to us on a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day a week way online. Kind of put some negotiators here with me and help me lead that work to really streamline the offices. We don't work. We need to, the government needs to be Amazon. And that's what we're doing. Sarah, thank you for this work that you've done. I think CSU for this work that you've done. This gives us the foundation of which we can build upon and hopefully address these issues together and share all of our great resources here. Thank you.
So, in the interest of time, I'm going to speak up a little bit and give people in the audience the opportunity. The first one that I know for sure is Mr. Ken's Rock, who's with United Way Ken.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sara. We have 226,000 calls today, our 201 number of people seeking for help. And always 2019 happens. Also, I'm glad that you're addressing this. People call, we try to get a resource, but that's not always possible. So I'm curious if you all can talk about either resources or additional capacity that you're just not enough of, as well as a potential gaps that you see in the community.
I can start. So I think one of the gaps is with reliable contractors. We do have a lot of people who do need to make some modifications or get some repairs in their home. We are a livable community. We have an initiative called Livable Cuyahoga. It's part of the AARP movement, which is age friendly. And honestly, when you hear age friendly, I think people get intimidated because I think it's only senior focused. But think about it. If you create something that works for an older adult, creating something that works for a family or a younger adult, that kind of transcends all generations. So I know when we did our assessment in 2022 and 2023, contractor concerns was huge, it's rampant, and it kind of coincides with the scams and the fraud. People get exploited like you do not believe, and we're talking large sums of money. I also think that there needs to be more rental assistance programs. I think there needs to be more housing that is geared towards seniors, some initiatives that really are safe places where seniors can reside, some intergenerational things, because there are also older adults who are raising grandchildren. So I think there's a lot of different things, but yeah, we see a lot of questions about rental assistance, contractors, and just, I know United Way is a great resource. We partner with Division of Senior Adult Services, but I think that sometimes it's hard to know all the resources out there that are available. So if we could start working on some of them, that would be great as well.
I know that. Resources that we have in place are limited and are needed. For seniors especially, there is great concern and there is limited income. And I love the creativity of the nonprofits in Cuyahoga County, and I look forward to now taking the study and trying to implement some plans that really address those needs. Is there an opportunity to do some home repair for senior citizens, and that maybe gets the cost of that repair gets attached to the home so that there's intermittent funding, and the contract committee put on out city property so that the next owner is going to enjoy that investment as well. Really opinion. It's just time to be creative right now. There's just more need than there are dollars. I think the cities have stepped up and have their own home repair programs, but the funds open where we can pull together more resources that maybe match those existing programs, maybe some financial institution kick in would be a wonderful opportunity to really grow those small pots that are doing good work.
So our team just did a study where they looked at our thinking and looked at how they could assist or transition our citizens out of their home to senior housing. I think one of the biggest issues is that we have to have a transition plan that we can keep our seniors in the community, but we also can open up housing for our get to those there, and then keep them in the community. So our students created this, I forgot the name of it. It was like a senior center that had every amenity in the city. It had a grocery store, it had a hair salon, it had everything that a person would need. And then they had the support of all the different agencies that exist so that the senior got to a certain point and take care of their home, couldn't or don't have to work for their children. That we provide the space that they can come to. And then you'll open it up for a parent who lives in an apartment, now live in a house. We lose a lot of our young people in our community because they just either the house costs too much or there's no house space. So provide pathways where we want to keep our seniors right here in Warrensville, where they serve and get provide seniors to transition opportunities for our students, for our young people. So select a collective effort to work with the city and work with businesses so that we have these two pathways where we can keep our people here, both of them, seniors and as younger people, and then we can continue to be vibrant.
I want to thank our panelists.
Good morning. I'm Bruce Smith at the Proud Warrensville to really turn around our Warrensville education system. As a homeowner, one of the things I'm finding challenging is how is attracting middle income families to our areas of our some of the districts who haven't been able to turn around their education system yet. So I wanted to know how are you all working with the inner suburb consortium to really expand that?
So I think a lot has to do with perception. A lot of times perception becomes reality. One of the things that we consistently try to do is just tell the story of the great things that go on in schools. The newspaper and things only report the negative. They don't show the greatness of our students and so forth. I think collectively, if we do work with Bedford sector of all of them, we're in a consortium with Bedford right now. Maple, Cleveland Heights sector to expand educational opportunities so that any career tech opportunity that any of the schools offer, our students have access to, and they students have access to ours. Again, I believe that the community is the one who really sells the school district. If people believe in the community, one of the things here is that we have lost almost 50% of our enrollment because people didn't have faith in us for the school district. And over the years, it's trying to build trust. You need a community sending kids to the school because the neighbors send the kids to a charter school and somebody else send the kids to a private school. There's no faith in the school. So what we did is actually recruit our own youth back and then provide them with all the options and we've increased our road 27% over 7 years. And that's the work of just selling ourselves, allowing people to see the greatness that our students have. The new facilities, I want to thank Mayor Sara for the support in building all new facilities. It's a community effort to get people to come back and believe in the schools, but also the schools got to produce. So in producing the experience once kids get to school and parents feeling like the school actually cares about their students and provide intervention support. And then also experiences. So our kids went to, where did they just go? Hawaii. Went to Hawaii. They go to the Mardi Gras. They're going to Italy, you know, all we have 7 graders to take college. Those are the things that we've done and we share with others that bring your people back and keep the best and brightest in your school district like it was years ago. There's a lot of competition for students now. Say, give me everybody a scholarship. So any school they want to go. So parents have to. But what we do is make more the number one.
So I want to thank you all for coming today. Before I conclude, I want to ask Dr. Dowd if we have an open invitation to hear your culinary. But are we in the country to do the?
It's all. So again, when we build our new school, we built a restaurant. So we have full scale restaurant ran by students. Students go to Big Mike, Warrensville, and Maple Heights. So it's a united effort. But it is a top open Tuesdays and Thursdays. Wednesdays and Thursdays, school starts. Open to anybody. It is a great experience. Student-led, we have a young instructor who puts everything into it. But again, it's the, and I recognize our number. Can you say that? Yeah, see, every number one time. She can tell anybody how good the school is in the customer service that our kids provide. So again, if you watch the news, you won't see it. You live with people, they don't know nothing about it. But again, this is the work that's being done here. And we, in our community, connect with our cities. We know that our cities is one of the forebears, and again, it's a product of this community. I wouldn't sit here without them. So they are very instrumental in everything we do. They have free admittance to any game, any event that Warrensville. Any school has our team cities have free access to our track, our practice center. Because we believe that it takes the whole community to raise these young people. And they need positive role models. They need people that still listen to them so that we can go to the next level and not follow and go down the wrong. Because Mayor Sellers and myself is here because people invest in us. So we're trying to repeat that with the future.
So I believe this is the second panel you and I have been on where we wish there was more time for thinking, but hopefully the county will keep this going. Community discussions, and with that, I thank my panelists again and ask that the executive come forward and close the session.
Let's give it up for panelists one more time. Let's give it up for Dr. Jackson.
Thank you. I told Mayor Sellers and Councilman Hower I was taking notes over here. I did find my pen and took a few notes. I first want to say to Mayor Sellers, you should be proud of the community that you run here in Warrensville Heights. Thank you. Thank you. And Dr. Jolly, thank you for the school district you run here in Warrensville Heights. Thank you. We talk a bit about these complete communities, and I think you're seeing it in action. And all of our residents from Warrensville Heights, our workers here, thank you for really realizing the vision and the dream. And you've said it, Mayor, and you're living it, and you're executing on it. I did take notes, and I do want to say as we close out, to Dr. Jolly's quote, hope I wrote this all down right, but this is what I got. Stable housing results in stable children, results in stable schools, results in stable communities, right? Well said. Well said. That goes exactly to Molly's point about the intersection of all this. It all has to happen in sync. And to Natasha, your comment about keeping our seniors here and things as simple as retrofitting homes so that they can access what they need in their own homes. Thank you for the work you do. Let's give her a round of applause as well in the senior world. And to Jen Kuzma, and you're building off of a couple decades plus of success, but it's hard work. And as another mayor said to me yesterday out in Parma Heights, Mayor Gallo, she said, it's hard work if you care about it, right? And that's what all of you are. You do hard work that you care about it. It makes it hard because you care and you focus on the details. So I think from you, what we were hearing is this is about retrofitting our strategies along with our homes, making sure that we have strategies that are here that we're all going to succeed with. I'd be remiss if I didn't say we might all be feeling a little alone in these efforts these days, kind of out on an island here in terms of our resources. Maybe that cavalry hasn't been coming from Washington or even Columbus these days, but I will say that we are together on this in Cuyahoga County. We literally have a phrase, we are Cuyahoga. We are all Cuyahoga with great communities like Warrensville Heights, like Maple Heights. I was glad Mayor Blackwell was here and Mayor Thomas from Richmond Heights and Mayor Morgan from East Cleveland. We have great communities that when we work together and our partners like the Land Bank, that we source each other with resources. We do feel alone sometimes with the way we see budget priorities from state and federal sources, but locally, we will work together to do our best to be, I also call us a healthy Cuyahoga. And from my perspective, safe, affordable, accessible housing is health. That is what makes for health and wellness. People that have health and wellness is if they have housing. So at the core of all of this, and I'm so glad Sara brought us together today, it is about housing. And so two more points I just want to make. Thank you, partners. I referenced this earlier. I'm going to get to Sara last and save the best for last. But I do want to mention, she mentioned, and it's been a heartache to me that she is retiring. She is still very young, but also very entitled to retire because she has lived this dream. And you, I know, are not going far. I've already heard some of your plans that keep you connected in this community. But I've known her for now a number of decades, and I think many of you have, and you've seen the way she works. And it was important to us to pull from the County Department of Development a new Department of Housing and Community Development. I'm looking at Michael Hauser because I know how much you and how closely you work together with Sara Parks Jackson. She's a visionary leader that has really mentored all of us, including myself. So I want to say in transition to that, I need one gentleman to stand up in just a second, but I referenced him earlier because we had a fun little exchange yesterday. He was going through, Councilman, I don't know if you know this, but we go through very rigorous preparation with our persons that we're putting before you for confirmation for their jobs. It's like a Senate confirmation inquiry, and we take this seriously. So in our room, in like the hot room, Tony Scott was hanging around with about 4 or 5 people, including Sara, and they're asking all the anticipated hard questions you may ask of him because he knows. And he walked out of the room, and I said, you have very big shoes to fill in your new job. And if he is confirmed, I know he will hit that ground running. But we also kind of joke that you kind of lace up your own shoes and walk in your own path, right? And that's what he's going to do. So I want to introduce, many of you know him already, but Anthony Scott has been with the Department of Community Development at Cleveland City Hall, and he is our next Director of Housing and Community Development. Thank you. Thank you. Here's to you. And when it happens right, There's succession planning. There's a playbook. There's a legacy leave away. And that's everything that Sara Parks Jackson has left us. Even today, working with Molly all these years, she's left us with a playbook. I mentioned the $3 million that she's allocated, and we know we need more resources, but the $3 million that she's allocated for specific programs, from rental assistance and fix-up to housing assistance programs and accessible dollars to just make housing a reality for a family and to help us measure and manage how we're doing. She literally is leaving us the playbook, and I feel good for you for that, Tony. And I feel great for all of us that she's been our inaugural housing director, that she is the founding director of really the housing priority that's launched with Cuyahoga County. And Mayor Sellers, back to you to be here in Warrensville Heights to show our commitment to our communities in the first ring suburbs. That's where Sara's passion is. I think it's where it'll always be. And she's helped, I'm going to say, beyond hundreds, thousands of people over her years in simply helping them access housing and that dignity that was talked about. Thank you. I'm going to miss the hell out of you, and I'm going to get a little emotional if I talk too long. So I think I'm going to kind of wrap this up, but I think you all know this, that this woman leads from the heart, and it's where her passion lies to help with the housing of Cuyahoga County. And she leaves us a playbook and a legacy, and she leaves us a great future because of what she's done. I think we have a little token of our appreciation here today. Could you stand up, Sara Parks Jackson, and let's give her our warmest of appreciation. Thank you. Could I have Mayor Sellers, Councilman Hower, and any other elected officials come on up? We want to just take a quick picture. And then you guys say something. All right, I want to just have Sara, if she'll take the mic. She's not saying goodbye. She's just saying she'll be around, right? Sara.
All right, everybody, thank you so much for coming. It's time for y'all to go back to work. Thank you. Kelly, where's the QR code? The QR code. Where can they find the QR code for the study? Okay. So if you want to see all the pages, please snap the QR code and it will take you directly to the study. And I thank all of you that participated and all of you that came today and all of you that I have known for a really long time that helped me through this journey. Thank you and have a great afternoon.
Okay, one more request. Mayor, if you'll indulge us, could everybody come for a group photo? Because we said it's the whole team and it's all of you. Everybody that wants to get in, come on in. We're going to do one big housing class photo. Come on in.